What's up, party people? Today, I'll be crossing off one of my 2020 goals. At the beginning of this year, I wrote down a few things I wanted to accomplish. Some are business related, some are health related, some are travel related, some are savings related, some are fun related. There's a bunch of different goals I have. I'll list off a few of those for you so you can see how I plan things out and how I strategize and lay out my year. But one of those we're crossing off today. And I'm excited for it because I'm getting something done in March that I want to do for the whole year, so even better. And for 2019, I had goals as well, and the New Year's resolutions. And some of them I didn't hit. I wanted to buy a house, that didn't happen. I wanted to get a full-time job marketing, that didn't happen, but I got a full-time job running the business, so it's a little trade-off. I also wanted to break 90 in golf last year. That definitely didn't happen. And when you're laying out a goal or setting a goal, the best way to do it is kind of you break it down backwards. And you want to get specific with it too. So eating healthy is always something for everyone. So instead of saying, I want to eat healthy this year, it's so broad and general, you can't really track if you're doing it or not, because some things are semi-healthy, some things are kind of healthy. So the same thing's going to go with, say, lose 20 pounds. You want to reverse engineer that, because you can't just make yourself lose 20 pounds, but you can make yourself go to the gym 5 days a week. So you can figure out the actions that will get you to that goal that you want to hit and kind of just work it backwards and track those. So let's say instead of eating healthy or losing 10 pounds, I say I want to get no fast food, no fried food, or follow a certain diet, follow a certain number of calories, and then make it to the gym a certain number of days each week. So you're doing those actions which will lead you to that goal that you want to accomplish, and you have a nice way to track it, because one week you might put on a pound, or you might have a bad day of eating or something like that, and you don't want to just completely regress and just feel like a failure. You want to just have those steps to work towards to hit that goal, if that makes sense. But here's some of my goals I had for 2020. Another thing that you should be doing is you don't want a ton of goals. You want maybe like 5 to 10 max, probably closer to that 5 range. So you're not trying to just do everything at once. Maybe you set 5 goals at the beginning of the year. By the 6-month mark, you've already crossed off 3, so you can add a few. But start off with just a few goals you have in mind instead of just plastering 10 and try and get those done all at once. So one thing I wanted to do, stick to the diet, the cutout method. I've definitely failed that so far these first 3 months. I'm sorry. Don't hate me, but there's been a lot of good food out there. But I'm getting there. I'm eating less, which is good. But yeah, stick to the diet that I followed, the cutout method. I did an earlier video on that if you want to check that out. I want to shoot 92 or lower in golf. And the way I'm going to be doing this is playing at least twice per month. And one of those times has to be a new course, because I wanted to do this last year and that didn't happen. I said I wanted to break 90 last year. I'm still shooting upper 90s, low 100s if I'm being honest. So 2 rounds a month. 1 round has to be a new course. I love playing new courses, and I love playing. It's nice in Florida, so get out as much as I can. 100-mile bike ride. It's another one I had in my mind. I don't own a bike right now, so I need to buy a bike, train, and then complete that. I think it'll be about a 5-hour event, which was what last year was for the marathon. Because last year I wanted to do a marathon and I crossed that off. So 100-mile bike ride, I don't think it'll be too hard. I just need to sign up for one and actually buy a bike. Visit 2 new states. I don't know what those states are yet. This is another specific example. Like, I didn't put travel more or see the world as a goal, just 2 new states, because I can track that and I can plan that. I don't know what 2 I should visit yet. If you have any recommendations, drop them in the comments. I've done a lot of the East Coast, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, Connecticut, but I haven't ventured west too much. So if you have any good states I should visit, let me know. For sales for my company, I want to have a $100,000 a month. That's pretty far off from where I am right now. So I'm launching 5 new products in April and expanding a lot. So when that happens, I think it'll help me get a lot closer to where I want to be. Because I thought about putting like a $50K month, but that's just it's shooting too low. Because I've already tickled that area. So 100K month, it's a big number, honestly, for me. But if I can hit that this year, it'd be great. I'll do everything I can. Continue launching products, continue expanding operations, more stores, Amazon, things like that to try to get there. But that was like me shooting, like, let's see if I can do that. And the last one, how many have I said so far? Diet, 92 or lower in golf, 100-mile bike ride, 2 new states, 100K month would be nice. Let's see if it happens. So I have 6 total. The 6th one is what I'm crossing off today. It's going to be, drum roll, be a podcast guest. So there's a lot of business podcasts out there, and I listen to a lot. And I'm in a unique position where you get these interviews with people who are crushing it and they're doing a great job, and then people listening to it haven't started anything yet. And I'm kind of like, this just became my full-time job, so I kind of understand the struggle of when you're just starting out. So I applied to one and they accepted me. So today, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be shooting a podcast with Honest E-commerce. So see how this goes. So it's called Honest E-commerce with Chase Clymer. And I originally found out about this through a Facebook group, which is another good way to kind of get into business and e-commerce, is you just join a few Facebook groups. This was one of them. So I started listening to some episodes, and I just hit him up one day via email saying, hey, this is my last few years of running a company. It's what I know and what I can help you out with and what I can teach your listeners. And we went back and forth a little bit, and we scheduled for today in about 5 minutes is when we're going to be doing the interview. So I'll go ahead and, I think it's like about an hour long we're going to be talking, but I'll break that down to like maybe 6 minutes, give you the highlights, the highlight reel over here. So this will be interesting. My first time, I don't really know how it goes. I've only listened to podcasts, so I'm sure there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. So I'll give you both sides of this today. You can see how it works for filming and then for shooting. And when it actually comes out, I'll send you a link to that too. I'll put it in my bio or something like that.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest E-commerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today we welcome to the show, this is probably going to be the best podcast art we put out so far, and we'll get into that in a minute, but Nick Flint. Welcome to the show. Nick, how are you doing?
Great, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. So I'm sure no one knows what your name is, and I apologize for being, I don't know the right term there, but you come from, you started a brand. You know, let's not tell them the brand. Let's just tell them the story, and then we'll tell them the brand at the end. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it, man.
You kind of need to know a little about a lot to get stuff started, don't you think?
Yeah, the way I word it, for being an entrepreneur or business owner, you basically have to be like 75% good at everything. You have to be decent at financing, marketing, building a website, doing design, things like that. And then eventually you're going to hire people who are way better than you at that specific area. But you have to be very broad and general with your skill set.
See, tools can only help. They're not going to get you sales. What were some of the tactics that you were using on like kind of the marketing front to help, bring in new business or retain old business?
Yeah, well, social media is always big for me. I mostly focus on Instagram. I prefer that over Facebook. It's because I feel like I get more of an organic reach via Instagram. So just a few good tips for managing your social media marketing would be you want to have a decent balance over those platforms. I know I said that I prefer Instagram over Facebook, but I'll still make Facebook posts because some of my customers, they don't use Instagram, they just follow us on Facebook. So finding a way to balance different platforms. What I actually do each week is I'll lay out a little bit of a calendar template. I'll say I want to make at least 4 Instagram posts this week, 2 Facebooks, a content email, a sale email, and I'll look at my week and see where can I fit each of those in, so it's nice and spread out over that week across different platforms. And I think the last bit of advice I'll drop on them would be to start building your personal brand as well, just because whatever you go to in the future, you want to have some kind of following already for. So let's say you own a skateboard company today, and then you sell that, and you're going to go on to something else. You want to have that personal backing of your friends and followers behind you. So definitely branch out onto different platforms. Start making posts on Instagram or stories a little bit behind the scenes, so people start to associate you with e-commerce and business. Hop on TikTok, see how that goes. Start up a YouTube channel. Just build up that personal brand across these websites so you have a nice backing no matter whatever you end up going into.
Be a guest on podcast, right?
Exactly. So check that off for 2020. Just shot my first podcast episode. This isn't my podcast. I was a guest on another one. Again, it's called Honest E-commerce. He said it'll be airing at the end of April, start of May. So this won't be out for the full episode. Won't be out for like almost 2 months. So I'll post it whenever that's ready. But hope you enjoy those quick little snippets from it. Later today, actually, I have another call for potentially being on an episode of something. It's another podcast type thing, and what they do is they call it Under the Hood. So they come in, they talk to you for almost like a full day about your business, about how things run, how it got started, and then they'll give you a bunch of ideas and things that you can do. About a 5-minute call to kind of pitch myself to that. We'll see how that goes. And maybe next week or so, I submitted an application to be on a website called Project Hatch. That is going to be a quick little interview just written out about the company, how it's grown, and what I've done to grow it. So got a lot going on these next few weeks, months, years, decades, things like that. So make sure you follow, comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Hit bells, whatever makes you happy. But just, hey, keep up with the fun. subscribe, would you?